Hey everybody, I hope you're doing well and getting settled with your courses at Francis Marion. I know those of you who are out in the schools, your semester started a while ago, but I hope that your semester at Francis Marion is off to a smooth start so far, as smooth as it can be, right? I just wanted to get on here to talk about the presentations, the intervention presentations. I know they're not due for a while, but I had a question about the presentation. So I just wanted to get on here and address that for everybody. Okay, so in the syllabus, we have those intervention. Let me enlarge just this a little bit because it is the tiniest print ever. Okay, I can see it better. And yes, I am wearing my reading glasses currently, but that's okay. Okay, so let's talk about the two brief intervention presentations. It does in the syllabus say an assigned instructional procedure or intervention. I'm okay to not necessarily assign procedures or interventions to you, right? So I'm kind of okay, or I am okay, if you wanted to look down here, for presentation one, here are some suggested topics, okay? Over here are some suggested topics for intervention presentation number two. But, and there's also a list on pages 62 and 63 of the Rickamini and Witzel textbook, if you have that one. I, of course, left mine at home today, but I will get that list posted for y'all as well. But these are just some ideas, right? I know some of you are working as math interventionists now, or you're working as special ed teachers, or you're already helping with interventions. So you might be using an intervention that's not listed here, and that's okay, right? If you have an idea that you want to use for your presentations, I mean, let's start with presentation one, first of all, and then we'll think about two. But if you have an idea that is not one of these suggestions, just let me know. Okay, run it by me and let me know. We want to make sure that it is an intervention as opposed to something that the whole class, the gen ed class, if they're all doing Dreambox, let's say, that doesn't really count as an intervention, right? I wouldn't really count it as an intervention. But any of these things, cooperative learning, cover, copy, compare, explicit or direct instruction, so much out there about that, right? Effective instructional design, folding in for facts, peer tutoring, performance feedback, response cards, self-management, self-monitoring with performance feedback, task analysis, cognitive routine, combining cognitive and metacognitive strategies. I still can't read it apparently. School-wide strategies and promoting early numeracy skills. So if you're doing any of these interventions already, or if your school is doing some of these interventions, that's absolutely fine if you want to present about one of these. If you want to choose your own topic that, again, run it by me. But if you're already using something, let me know. And most likely that will be fine. Again, as long as it's considered an intervention and kind of more specialized maybe, or more focused on some of our struggling learners, our students who have already been identified with learning disabilities in math, for example, our at-risk students, students with intellectual disabilities, or any of our neurodiverse students. If you're already using something, or if your friend who's a math teacher is already using something, or maybe a math resource teacher is what I meant to say, let me know. And also for the presentations and let me see what else, for the presentations, for the Frayer keyword, for the PALS Math or Otter Creek, and I'll talk about this in one second, for the websites and apps, and possibly for the progress monitoring in mathematics, but definitely for the presentations. If you want to work with a partner, feel free, right? There are already two of you at the same school, one of you might be a math interventionist, one of you might be a special ed teacher. Well, if you want to work together, I would strongly support that, right? So you can work with a partner, you can work with a small group up to about 3, maybe 4 students if you have a good reason for a group of 4. But absolutely work together, collaborate, work with someone in your district, in your school, across, at another district, something like that. You can certainly start a discussion board, or actually I could probably, let me see what's in our discussion boards currently. We can, so yeah, here, if you wanted to, don't read this. I'll redo this. Excuse me. But I'll open a forum, and if you want to post in the forum and say, "Hey, I'm interested in," hold on, let me go back to the syllabus. "Hey, I'm interested in peer tutoring for the first presentation. Anybody want to work with me?" Right? That is 100% acceptable. All right. So again, these are some suggestions, some possible topics. There again, pages 62 and 63 of the Riccomini and Witzel textbook. I will get that posted for you. I don't currently have it posted, but I will. Anything from any of the other textbooks, the one textbook, oh, I have to remember which one it is. Because of course, y'all, I left all my books at home and I'm in my office, which normally I record from home and I have everything with me. I think it's the, I might be mispronouncing the name. Phobing. Oh wait, hold on. Duh. I could look up here. Which one is it? Hold please. This one, the Forbringer and Fuchs. Fuchs. I know there are different ways to pronounce. I always thought it was Fuchs, but I don't know that that's 100% correct. But anyways, this has some learner resources. Oh, I used to have it up on my browser, but I don't. It has a lot of great resources, learner resources that go with it. So, if you can access those resources, and I think if you go to the publisher's site, actually, hold on, I'm going to pause the video and try to do that real quick, right? Okay, I found it. So all I did was put in RTI and math, evidence-based interventions, right? And it takes you to this page, which may be where you purchased the book from. But if you scroll down, one moment, please, all the support material, right? So there's some great ideas. There's a whole bunch of games, and I was going to try to incorporate some of them into your assignments, but I figured I'll just share it this way instead. But you can go here. So there's board games, there's egg carton. So if practicing near tens, okay? So you could talk about, there's not too much, but you can certainly use some of these as some ideas for interventions. Hold on, it's not closing. Okay, so that is what I want to show y'all. So yeah, just remember, just go to search for RTI in math, evidence-based interventions, excuse me. But if you scroll down, and this is just, I didn't sign in as an instructor, I didn't sign in or anything. So you should be able to find some of this support material down here, developing number sense, right? So again, some of the activities are pretty small and short and sweet to the point, but there's internet resources. So you're welcome to look at these resources and as well and see if there's anything maybe you could use one of these, website links or something and talk about some of these interventions. Okay, so that's another possibility for you as well. So again, pretty open. I'm pretty flexible with topics. Again, just run something by me, so that we can be sure it's an intervention and not something that everybody would use. Like I just heard from my friend in Charleston, they use a curriculum called Bridges, but that's what they use across the board. So that would not really work. We want it to be something a little more specific, a little more focused, again, as I said, on our struggling learners. Okay, so hopefully that answers the one question that I had and questions that may come up. Again, we have plenty of time, but I did want you all to, in case you're starting to think about this, again, if you're using some of these interventions, feel free to present about those interventions. That's actually where this whole Otter Creek Mastering Math Facts came from. When I was a special ed teacher, I used this Otter Creek Mastering Math Facts, or Rocket Math. You've probably seen it. And when we get to this assignment, I'll talk more about it, but just kind of a little background. But I used it when I was a special ed teacher, when I was a resource teacher. And then after I taught, I kind of went a little backwards. I taught for 10 years and then I went on to PhD school. I think I told you, that's what my friends and I call it. But when I went to PhD school, I started thinking about math interventions that I had used as a teacher. And that led me to complete my dissertation about mastering math facts. Okay, so this is an option. I wouldn't necessarily, I take that back for 1 second. This Otter Creek Mastering Math Facts, I wouldn't do your intervention presentations up here. about that topic because you'll be covering it down here, right? So I'm trying to expose you to as many things, as many interventions as possible in, 15 weeks. But it was interesting because mastering math facts for the students in my dissertation study, I think I had 4 students, and for those 4 students, it did prove to be an effective math intervention. So again, you're probably using stuff out there in your classrooms, in your schools, in your situations. So present about those. This will be something that will be posted into the discussion board so that your classmates and colleagues can look at some of the presentations as well. Okay, again, we have a while. Hold on. I think, do I have a calendar in here? I do. Look at that. All right, so we have until March 5th for the first one. Oh, sorry, I feel that was very loud. It's very dramatic about March 5th. And then the second one is due March 26th. Okay, so we do have some time, but again, start thinking about some topics, talk with your friends, talk with your classmates, and if you want to work together or in a small group, that is 100% acceptable. All right, so I'm recording this during week 2, so you'll have the quiz 2 is due January 22nd. I like 2s apparently. And then remember, next week, weeks 3 and 4, the content will be from Dr. Hill Chapman. I know I am using her content, so that sounds kind of weird because I am still using her lectures because, again, I feel that she did a really good job with them and they're already there. And I would hate for me to say something or miss something or forget to tell y'all something. So that is why I am keeping her lectures kind of as they are. But you will get this content, the assessment of students with math disabilities, in your practicum, okay? So that will come from her, but remember, there will be assignments due, the task guided notes. I will post the presentation and the guided notes assignment, and then also quiz 3. Those are due January 29th. And then February 5th, you will have your math websites and apps assignment due, and quiz 4. And the purpose of both of these are really to, again, expose you to not only some interventions, but some instructional, procedures, I guess, especially in this task guided notes that may allow you to further support either the special ed teachers at your school or, your students directly for those of you who are serving as math interventionists or math teachers. And then same thing for the math websites and apps. And a lot of you probably already use a lot of these websites and the apps. But every time, because I've done this assignment with my Math 763, I told you the graduate one for education, and I learned something every time. And I'm like, oh, I need to use that website or I need to use that app with my other classes. So that's why those assignments are coming up. Okay, but hopefully that's about it. Questions for now. Hopefully I answered some of them. And again, I will post that Riccomini and Witzel list. And again, your presentation number 1 is not due until March 5th, but feel free to start looking at some topics, running some topics by me if they are not on this list. And if, 2 of you end up choosing folding in for facts and you don't want to work together, I'm totally fine with that if you both choose the same thing. When we have face-to-face classes, we want a lot more variety. But since we are online, I'm more okay if you end up student A and student B both choose response cards. Oh, you don't really want to work together, your schedules don't align. I'm totally fine to have 2 presentations about response cards. All right, again, that's it for now, and hopefully your semester's off to a great start, and I will be back with a video, with an assignment video about the task guided notes and the math websites and apps. I will do both of those assignments in one recording for y'all. All right, have a great day.